Okay, so the next thing will be for me to now start adding my roof. Okay, let me drag this up. So if I come to this my section, that is if I come to this south, you'll find out that this is my roof level. So I will be placing my roof on this, right? And I noticed that, okay, this is under, let me put it under shaded. Okay, very fine. So I'll be putting my roof on this. Okay, very fine. So I will take it back to roof, the roof plan that is here. Okay, now if you watch, you can't see the building here. You understand? So for you to be able to see the building, we have many things you can do. First, let me check the base level. So I will change this base level. I can change it to foundation level. I mean, what's it called? First floor. You understand? So by changing it to first floor and leaving the top level as roof, and then underlay orient as look down, you'll be able to see the hazy drawing below. So now, on coming under this architecture, we have roof, and then under this roof you have roof by footprint, roof by extrusion, roof by face, roof soffit, facial, gutter. But then we'll be making use of roof by footprint. I will still explain what roof by extrusion is. You understand? Let me even just show what this roof by extrusion is. Extrusion is something that is coming out from a surface or projecting inward out of a surface, that is backward. That is extrusion. Or moving, anything that is moving up, you understand, or down away from a surface is called extrusion. You understand? That is the relationship I can give. Now, so that if I come, for example, under this south, and I need to create this roof by extrusion, and I click this extrusion, it will ask me to pick a plane. You understand? Now look, if I come to this place and pick this plane, is where the roof itself will be starting. Now he said I should go to level, and I'll say okay, roof level. So if, let me just put this in this way. Let me assume I have this, and then okay, how do I even put it so that it will make better sense? Okay, let me just leave it this way, and then this length is under this roof building. Okay, plumb cut. Let me just leave everything the way it is. Let me click yes, and extrusion sketch must be open. Okay, the roof thickness and material composition are defined this type. Okay, must be open. Okay, so talking about this roof by extrusion, assume if I click on this roof extrusion, I said pick plane, I said okay. So let me assume this is my plane, right? Okay, the level is going to be the roof level, and I said okay. So now I will now draw. Let me assume it is going to move this way. Let me just assume, and then coming down this way like this. Okay, so I will now click, and maybe I can change the thickness, but before I change the thickness, let me leave it this way and see what we have. Very fine. Now this happens to be the roof by extrusion. Okay, so if I want to change the thickness, for example, I can come to this place and reduce the thickness depending on how you want it. You understand? Okay, so this is basically I just want you to see how the thickness will look like. Okay, so this is just roof by extrusion. You can apply it in so many cases, but then in this tutorial I want to make use of roof by what's it called, in short, for this project what is actually used is not this. So okay, so this is roof by extrusion. Now let me just delete it. So coming to this roof level again, we have this roof by footprint. Okay, so and footprint, just as you have feet. Okay, footprint is just like tracing the path you want the roof to pass. So after tracing all the paths, you now click OK. So we are going to select the boundary lines. The boundary lines are the external parts of the roof. You understand? So we select all the external parts of the roof. Now you have so many ways you can do the selection. This one is by pick walls, you understand. So as you are picking, it is picking the edges, you understand. But the only disadvantage is, assuming I click this one, it selects all the whole walls, you know. So but then I can, let me delete all this. But then I can make use of these pick lines, you understand. But for the sake of this tutorial, and we have so many ways of doing this, but I would like to make use of this other pattern. Sorry, control. So I will now move it this way. Okay, so this way, yeah, this way. Okay, so this becomes the end of the edge, I mean the boundary. Okay, so I will now hit okay. Now I will still like to show you so many other things as regards this particular roof by footprint. I remember that our tutorial, the roof, as you can see, the roof is not visible, you understand. It is somehow enclosed by this what do you call this, by this parapet, you understand. So coming to this, what I will now do will be first to create my parapet, you understand, before this roof. But I just wanted to show you how this roof by footprint can go. Then there are so many other things you can do, you understand. But then let me first of all create the, what's it called, the parapet itself. So just as we have here, this is the roof and where my, what's it called, the current wall ended. This particular wall ends here. In this case, this is where it ended. Now we have this extruded wall element. This extrusion, we have this extrusion here, you understand, after which we will now have a continuation of this parapet, you understand. Okay, so let me first of all create that extruded element on the wall. So what I will now do, for me to create this, I have so many ways to create it, and that will take us to this particular component model in place, you understand. Remember, even our window hood, if you want to model them, assuming you don't have them existing by default in your project, you can model them. Okay, so I'll click on this, then it is a casework, you understand. So I'll click on this casework and I will say okay. Let me call this one let me just call it wall casing. Let me just use it as wall casing. Okay, right, so I'll say okay. Now it will now ask me under this crate, is it by extrusion or should I use blend or revolve sweep? Now all these things depend on the situation, I mean depend on the task you want to perform, you understand. Now but let me start with this sweep. We are going to make use of sweep, you understand. So I'll click by this sweep. Then it's asking me to pick the parts. Right, now remember I'm in 3D. Assuming I'm on the roof, I can make use of this sketch part, or I can still make use of this sketch part, you understand. Okay, meanwhile I can make it this set work plane or pick a plane. For example, remember a plane is the level or the surface on which you do anything, you understand. Assuming you want to create something and you want it to be on a particular surface, that surface you are going to place that is called plane, you understand. Okay, so but then for this roof that I'm going to create, I'm just going to come to this 3D, you understand. I'll make use of pick parts. So okay, I'll pick the external part. I will like this, sorry, I will come back and delete all this. Okay, so I will now use trim TR to trim off all this, right, to join them up. Then this one I can delete it, continue with my TR trim. Okay, so Okay, so very fine. So but then remember that extrude, just like we have here, this particular, this moved out by a certain distance, right? Okay, very fine. So let us continue. So having created the part where it will flow, I will now hit OK. So we have created it, right? Okay, now you remember, you can, the best way is not to draw on your 3D, you understand, but then you can still draw on the 3D depending on, if I keep this in like this, okay, depending on what you want to achieve. In some cases you might not be able to draw in 3D. Okay, so very fine. We have this way, this is 300. Okay, and it moves up like this. Let me just say it moves up by a thickness of 75. Enter, and then it moves in a little this way. Okay, so TR to join these two. Okay, very fine. So that when I click on this, it will now move, it will move round. Okay, click, very fine. Right, now we can change the color, so I will change the material color for this. So what I will now do, I'll come to this, under this material. Remember, you can still apply paint, or you can change the whole material. Yeah, that's so. But for me, I think what I will do, instead of changing the material, let me make use of okay, let me just change the material color. You understand? Instead of applying paint, so you are going to change it to white, or make a color. Okay, I think from what you have here, it has the same color with the wall. Then this other one has a different color. Wow, I can see so many other things here. Okay, I think we will make use of paint. And I just got to notice this other wall. Okay, I noticed just this now. So what I will do, I'll go back to this cancel. I need to edit this so that it will be able to capture this other wall element. So I will now come to edit sweep. Okay, so now editing this this work to suit what we have here. Okay, so we have this let me just delete this. Okay, so we have something of this nature. Let me see. Then I think this projected out like this, and then we have, okay, so let me just assume something of this nature. Let me see. No, this is not it at all. So I think, okay, but it mustn't be actually exact too, so that we don't spend time trying to get the exact drawing of this thing. I think we can actually do our own design. Yeah, I think we can do our own design. Okay, so let me do this way. Delete this, remove this, sorry, TR, do it this way, and then rejoin of this. Let me check what's the dimension between this and then this is 500. Okay, so well, be it as it may, we will leave it this way. Yeah, okay, save the project. So okay, now we know that this wall also went ahead. I mean, it went up You understand? Okay, so what we'll now do, we'll copy these words, you understand, and place on top. Okay, because if I move this word, if I drag it up, it will give me an error message, you understand? Okay, so what we'll now do, we select this external, in short, or we'll go to roof and create a different word. Okay, so what we'll do, I'll make use of pick face. Okay, but then why not, let me control Z all this, why not even draw using single line, right? I think so. I can click WA, which is word, and then we can draw this way. I think it will be better. Okay, right. Okay, then we have this and then this. So if I come to this 3D, where is the word? Okay, so let me say, no, sorry, let me just select it here. I'll come to the roof and select everything, and you can say this. Okay, so we'll come to this connected, and we can make this, let me assume this height is 900. So when we come to this place, we have 900 too small, I think 1 2. From the picture we have here, it is more than 1 2. Yep. So let me take this to be 1 4. Okay, so we'll leave it this way, right? Now the next thing from this drawing is for us to create this other extruded wall element, right? Okay, so we'll now still go back to the same roof, and you remember this is just almost a single, okay, going to be double. Okay, this one is sort of a roof on top this extruded wall element, just to prevent water from touching this directly. Okay, I think so. I will now come to this architecture, come back to this model in place, go back to this casework, say okay, casework 1, yes, okay. So now say by extrusion, you understand? So let me go to this 3D. Okay, let me cancel this. Great. By sweep, not extrusion. So I will now pick parts. Okay, so this will be my part where it will move all. Okay, yeah, so we will continue this way. Put this way, right? So we'll now see 3, right? Join all these. So that is it. Now I will now click OK. I will come to this place and say edit profile. In some cases you might mistakenly click outside, and then you'll be looking at this edit profile being hazied out. So what you do, you just click on this profile, right, and you come to this edit profile. Okay, now let me still draw on this 3D. So the thing moved up, I think, to this extent 500, and then we have this way. Okay, So I will now say to join these two, I will now move this like this. Okay, so I will say finish and finish. So we now have these two like this, right? Okay, let's continue. I noticed something here. Okay, I will correct it. So I will now say finish. Let me edit this. Edit. So when I turn this to properly, what was that? Was it this one? Okay, let me just adjust this. Edit. Very fine. Let me just leave it this way. Okay. So having done this, let me see what we have. Then we have a small roof covering, sort of a cover on this, on top this, like sheet, roof sheet on top this. So I will now use this particular roof. Coming to this architecture under this roof, I will now use this extrusion. You understand? So what I will do under the, for this case, if I come to this roof, I will use this roof by soffit. You understand? So whenever you come close, you see how it is being created. So when I click on this roof by soffit, what we'll do, let me just go to this my roof level. Then natural ground level, no, I want it to be drawn on the roof level, and the offset of 450. Okay, so this is what I will now use. Okay, I will now pick these edges. So all these things I'm doing, they all have. Now look, if I click, you see I didn't lock this. You understand? On a normal I should have locked all this, so that assuming this particular element here, this particular element moves, you understand, it will also move along with it. But let me leave it unlocked for now. So what I will do now, I will now see do for this other side. I actually want to select, wait, let me delete this. Yes, so I want this object to be the only isolate element. Okay, why I want to isolate element, this element is I want this to be the only thing I will be selecting while drawing my roof. So I will now go back to this my roof and come to this soffit, right? I'll click on this soffit. Then I'll now use this my pick lines. Okay, now what I'll do, I will lock all this. I will lock it, so each one I create will be locked. So it will now have the thickness like this. Yep, so all these are locked. So I will now click OK. Oh, continue. We haven't joined this. Okay, very fine. So this is what we have right now. So I will now say, let me reset this and go to my, now we have this. I think, let me go back to this and say, where is the roof? Okay, Ctrl Z. I should have done an offset of 450. Okay, so if I come to my 3, yeah, very fine. Look at it here. Now you can always edit the thickness from here. Let me assume the thickness to be 2 inches, that's 50 mm. Okay, so I'll say okay. Okay, so this is sort of maybe what the architect wants to showcase. Now you can always change the material of this. Remember, this is roof, and then this one is the, so depending on how you want to do, so there are so many things you can do here. Okay, but that is by the way. So the next thing is, okay, so now I will introduce roof to this building, and the way I want my roof to be, I want it to slope this way and then this other way. You understand? It will slope this way, and then from here to slope to this other side, and it's going to be a very the slope will be around a kind 12 degree. You understand? It's almost flat roof, you know, very sloping. So what I will now do now will be to okay, so now what I will now do, I will come to this sorry, I will now come back to this roof, and coming to this architecture, we have different roofs here. We have roof by footprint and then by extrusion, but then I will be making use of this roof by footprint. So what I will now do, I will click on this roof by footprint, and okay, I will create it by doing this this inside. So I will trace it this way, or better off, look at what I will do. Let me cancel this. I will highlight all this and then go to filter and select walls, and then isolate element. So now what I will now do next will be to come to this roof. Why I did this, so that I can pick these roof edges easily. Okay, so what I'll now do, I'll come to this roof and say roof by footprint. Okay, and then I will now select use this and select these edges. Right, so I will select all these edges, and then coming to this side, I will trim trim out. Sorry, let me split this line. I used SL, which is a shortcut for split. This is split SL. So I will now use TR, which is a shortcut for trim. Okay, and then trim it this way. Now if you watch, all these lines, they all have slopes. So that if I click on this finish and then don't attach for now, and then come to this 3D, you'll find out that my roofs are in this form. All right, okay, I'll see, just have patience, I'll see work on so many things here. Okay, so you see how they are, but I want my roof to be sloped this way and then this other way. So I'll go back to this my roof and click on it and edit footprint. Excuse me. So now for me to achieve that, I need to select all these. I need to define the slope by using this and this. These two lines will be defining, these two edges will be defining my roof slope, you know. So what I want to do first, this I will now select, I'll select everything except this. So I will now hold down my shift and unselect this. So I held down my shift to unselect these two. Now I will now come to this place and hit define slope. You know, so all these ones, they don't have slope any longer. You understand? So now these two slopes will be what will be defining my roof. Okay, so the next thing will be to click this, but then there's also, don't attach, there's also another challenge, which is the extent. You see how slope it is. So what I want to do, I'll come to this place and maybe make it something like 12 degree. Excuse me. So I'll make it 12 degree, right? Okay, so and the thing is just perfectly okay. This is how I want it. So now again, if you watch it, you will have so many things shooting out, just like in this case now. Okay, so what I will do, and not just here, every other places. So what I will do, every other place. So what I will do, I will go back to this and select this, edit. So it's supposed to be inside, not outside. You understand? So okay, so I can just, let me select all these and unpin them. I mean, okay, or better off, I think it's easier even to delete all of them and create a new one. So this is what I want, maybe for now. Okay, sorry, I should have. So to avoid this, come to this place and click unlock if you want it to be unlocked, but if you want it to be locked, you can click this locked for now I would like it to be locked, so let me lock back this. So okay, so by doing this I will now select all these and deselect these two, which will be the two edges that will be controlling my roof, and I'll come here and untick this define slope. Then remember this slope is supposed to be 12 degree. Okay, so I'll now click OK and then come to this place, and this is what we have. Very fine and good. So in this case now, all the water collectors, you understand, it will be channeled out from these edges, you understand. So that one, so that's just it. Now coming to this my sit out. Okay, remember okay, what happened here? You know, initially maybe I didn't show it in this tutorial. Let me go back. Edit in place, select this again, edit sweep. Let me go to roof. Remember that initially this is how these two edges have been. Okay, so that if I finish up, if I come to this my 3D, this is how it has been, right? Okay, and I had to create these walls, you understand, for the sit out, right? Okay, now if I go back to my roof and select this, I want to edit it. I want these two things to end at these two edges, so I'll hit on this peak, and I can't split this. I can't split it, so Ctrl Z. Okay, pick parts. So I will drag this to the end. What's happening? Okay, it doesn't want to be dragged, so let me just delete it here. So pick parts, so I'll drag it to this end, and I'll say again pick part, you understand. So I'll drag it to this end again, right? I'll say okay, let me shift this a little to the middle of this nature. Okay, let me now, if I click finish, okay, there's a problem, continue. Okay, this is the problem, I think. I hope there's no other place. Then here, more than one loop not accepted. Where could this be? Okay, let me delete this and see what is wrong. Okay, I think it's a model problem. Let me see. Pick parts. We are picking roof. Okay, now watch. Remember that this is not, we weren't picking these edges, these are walls, you understand. So let me reset this. These are the edges we were supposed to be picking, right? I think it should be these edges. Okay, so let me try taking, hope this is not wall, concrete slab thickness. Okay, what is this? Wall. What is this? This one is also wall. Okay, let me see. Trim, and then coming to this other side, pick edges. I hope it will accept this. So let me see. What is the problem? Yeah, okay, let me delete these things and go to 3D itself. What actually is happening? Right, it's supposed to be the walls, right? I think. Let me see again. Go back to roof. Pick edges. 275, 275. Okay, let me. Okay, so I think this is the problem. I'm selecting different thing altogether. So if I come to this my 3D, remember I was supposed to select these other walls, you understand, these down walls, but sometimes when I select, it happens to select these other upper walls. So what I'll do, let me cancel this. Let me just say okay, and then hide these upper walls here, right, and every other thing. So I'll say hide elements, right? Okay, so I'll now come to this place and click edit place. Okay, now I'll select it again, edit sweep. So now the next I'll now come and click select edge, pick edges. Okay, so this and this are on the same plane, on the same axis, but then because this wall is a continuation of this one, so it's hard to say that different now. But then what I do, let me just select this, and then I will select this. Remember, what I intend doing is to adjust this to this. Let me turn this upside down like this. My intention is to adjust this to this extent, right, and then adjust this to this extent. Yeah, okay, so this is what I planned. So I will now more than one loop. Okay, so what I will do, look at the opening here. I will, okay, very fine. So it will now, so this is what I intend achieving, right? Okay, so next thing I will now do be for me to create, let me hide reset temporary. So now next thing I need to do is for me to create, just as you have in this picture, this other part of wall element. So I'll come to this place, and then remember that this is my wall. Okay, so I will still go back to my architecture. I can go through this way, edit in place, then come to this create, and I will say sweep by sweep. Yeah, so I will now say pick path, right? I will now pick these edges, and then this. So I'll use trim and join all this, right? I'll say okay. Now the next, I will now come to this edit profile. Okay, so I'll place it in the way I want it, right? Now remember, this is our target, to produce something of this nature. Okay, so let me see. Okay, do not agree. So I there is a trick I normally use, but then let me just move on. Let me put it this way. So I think placing this side by side will help me a little, right? So I can go this way, take it up a little, maybe move this like this, move this way, and then bring it out, right? Yeah, so I cannot take it down like this, but I think no, this is not actually what we want. So this coming down, calm down, calm down, calm down. So I'll bring this down a little again. Okay, so we have something of this nature. Okay, so good, let's take this down, and maybe this way, and bring this down again, down. Okay, down. Okay, very fine. So we'll have it this way, right? Say okay. So we'll have something of this nature. So we'll click finish. So at this point in time, we will need to create, just as we created this, we also need to create that of this other edge. Now what we will now do, first I need to raise this wall edges, this wall here. So I will need to raise it up. I'll say roof level, maybe put it at 1000, no, 900, right? Okay, it's too high. Okay, look, what I'll do, I'll see, let me just take it down to 600. Okay, so what I will now do, let me minimize this so that we can be looking at these two pictures here. Okay, so what I will now do, I will go to this I'll come to this my architecture, or basically let me just continue with this. This is roof, so this one, let me continue with edit in place. Okay, so I will now say create. Okay, so this is because I minimize this one is, it has turned to this particular pattern. So remember, we are using sweep, right? So it will now ask me, let me maximize this. It will now ask me to select parts. So I will select these parts, trim this way. Okay, so I will now say okay, then we'll now come to edit profile. Okay, so very simple, just to create a replica of this other side. So what I will now do, I will come to this, I'll say what's happened. Okay, select this, say edit profile. Now I can now drag this up to this extent and then move it this way. Meanwhile, I need to adjust this from forward, so I can now pick up this, right, and then say trim. Okay, so I think it's a replica of what you have over there. Okay, so I think the only difference, this sloped up a little, then this way, say trim over here. Okay, take it a little, no, too big. So I will now hit OK, and okay, so we have this finish. Okay, so this is basically what we have, right? So okay, so having created all this, I think let me reduce this wall. Let me take it down by base offset. I want this wall to come down a little, so I'm going to make this base offset something like 400. Let me see. Okay, I think, yeah, let's go this way. Okay, then let me select previous, and then maybe make this top offset something like 1.4. yeah, okay, so we are good to go. So having done all this, now let us put that of cap. Now why I'm doing all this is so that we'll be conversant with so many things here, you understand? But I will, okay, so for the pipe, for this cap, for this pillar cap, what is it called, the capital, what do we call it? So what I will do here, I will come back to this architecture model in place. So I will still make use of casework. Okay, so I will call this column capital. Let me just call it like this. I think I'm sure, I don't know. So, and I will make use of the same sweep. Now coming to this pick part, I can pick these edges, so I can always say 3 join all these. Okay, so having done this, I will now click okay, and then in this sketch. Now remember that this is how it moves this form. Okay, so hoping I will remember. It starts from here. Let me start this way, so it moves up this way, and then I'll pick this up. So I can okay, so this is what we want. So and I won't like to be creating it also for this. So what I will do, I will copy it to this place. So let me just move this. So and okay, let me click on edit parts, pick parts. So I will now transfer the part to this other side, pick edges. So I'll pick these edges. I'll say trim. So now I'll now close up this and hit continue. Okay, so this is exactly what I want, right? Okay, now coming down to also this place, I can't see what is on at the base. Yeah, that's but I think something should be at the base. So what I will do, I will come to this create sweep, and then I will pick part. So coming to this place. Okay, I think because this is embedded into the floor, you understand, I won't be able to pick the part. So what I will do, let me just click OK, quit, go, quit. Okay, so what I will do, I will select okay, to achieve this I can either go from down or I can still achieve it from top. So what I will do, I will select this, edit, then copy this, drop here, then edit this, okay. So I think no, let's just go through this way. So what I will do, I think the best way to approach this is, let me close all this. Yes, yep. So let me select these two words. Okay, so filter. Okay, words. So I will like this in the base constraint to be natural ground level. So you count this way, right? Okay. I think I have an issue. The previous the previous oh god, I forgot that I forgot that when I created this, I didn't click finish. You understand? So I went and deleted everything, which is also very bad. So let me just recreate it. So come to this architecture component, model in place, casework, say okay. Maybe call this pillar head, by sweep, pick part, this, join. So I'll hit OK, edit. Okay, so I think I remember. So okay, I think this way. Then excuse me. So the next now let me just create for the underneath. So I'll create sweep, pick path, not highlighting. Okay, so let me delete this. Let me finish it up first. I think I made this in. Oh, did I click Ctrl Z? So this filter, oh, words. Okay, so this should be natural ground level. Okay, so having done this, I can go back to this, edit, create. Sorry. So I will now come to sweep, so I can pick parts, right? Not still clicking. Excuse me. Okay, so maybe what I'll also do would be to highlight, click all this filter, say okay, then base level, natural ground level, let me make this 120. I'll set up. Okay, so I will come back, click on this, edit, so create, edit sweep, pick path, so I can now pick these edges, right? So for the third side, how do I now select it? Okay, I think to go this way, so I'll say trim, okay. So having done this, I say okay. Now I have an issue with this wall, it's just obstructing. So what I'll do, let me edit profile, let me just do a small thing so I can go and remove the wall. Finish model. Okay, so this wall, I think I element. So what I'll now do, I'll come to this edit, select it again, go to this edit sweep. Now having done this, I think this appears this way. So having done this, I will now select, where is the profile, I will now say edit profile. So let me assume this is in this form. So with this I say okay. Now I can now shift this down, this particular one, sorry.
From my laptop.
So I will now, okay, so to copy this to this particular okay, so what I will now do, I will now come to this, let me go to the natural ground level, okay, natural ground level. So I will now select, okay, it's already highlighted. I will now say, but before I copy it, I would like to go to edit. Okay, so why I'm doing this is so that they can be a little bit independent. So I will highlight these two and go back to my natural ground level and copy it this way. Okay, very fine. Now I'll be able to click. Let me again go back to my 3D. Okay, now for this particular for this I would like to trace so that I'll make it adapted only to this particular pillar here. So what I will now do, I will create edit sweep and then pick part. So I will select the part itself, or I can use align AL to align it the way I want, but I would like to use pick part again. So let me first for delete this once. Remember, before you delete, you must have drawn a single line itself. So I can now put it this way. I will say trim TR and say okay. Then coming to this other one, I will edit sweep and then click on pick part, pick 3D. So once I click on this, I will delete the remaining these existing ones. So pick part, select this. Okay, so the problem is how to select this other side. In this case, okay, so what do I do? Let me go to the natural ground level and know what I can select this area. I think should have selected also. Okay, this last one I selected is not actually the at the same level with these two. So what I would do, let me just click these ones and leave it this way. So for me to be able to select that, I will go to my 3D and let me just select all these. And okay, I will isolate element. So I can now go back to edit sweep, and then I can say pick part and finish up this other one, right? Sorry, trim. Okay, I can now finish it up this way. Right, okay, so assuming this is what I want, okay, let's see what we have in our own 3D. So we have been able to establish all this. Okay, the remaining part is this upper parapet. So that is here. So for me to do that, I will click on this one is roofs of it. I'll click on this parapet, go to edit, and then I'll now create a new one, separate, create. Okay, so I will now come to this sweep and pick part 3D. So I can now click on this and join them using train like this. Okay, so having done that, I'll now hit OK. Sorry, I'll now hit OK and come to this edit profile. $300. So let me assume this is actually okay. Let me come. Okay, so we have this right now. The remaining thing I will do will be to paint up this the way I would like it to be. So but meanwhile, I would like this to be properly attached. So edit, so having done this, I will now click OK. So the next thing would be for me to from this picture, I think I either go to interior or I start making some paints. Yeah, so now let us paint this building. Okay, so for us to do that, I will come to modify, this modify, then this is what we call paint. PT is a short form of it. So once I click on this drop down arrow, you will see paint and remove paint. These are the two things you see. This one is to remove an existing paint, while this one is to add a paint on this particular structure. Now before we go on, we need to prepare the paint that we want. You understand? We have all these are default paints, you know, but then maybe assuming we don't have the type that we want here, what we will now do will be to, let me close it, come to this manage. So we will now go to this materials. Okay, so when you come to this material, you will now go to I will create a new material. So this one I will call it create new material, and I will call this right click. Okay, so I will call this let me just say make white. Sorry, make white paint, right? Okay, so having done this, I will now click on this and tick this use render appearance. Why I'm clicking this use render appearance? So that when my work is eventually rendered, it will use the render property. You understand? When I want to render it, will now be using the paint render properties. So having selected these graphics, I will now come to this appearance. Okay, under this appearance, we will now come to this paint. Now ordinarily we have already created paints. You understand? You can create yours using all these options, or you can come to this place, open closet or close this asset browser. So what I will now do, I will now come and click on this asset browser, and then it's coming. Okay, so I will now come to this appearance. I'll come to this appearance, and then we have paint at this place. So I'll now start looking for the paint that pleases what I want. I mean, that that is related to what I want. Okay, so maybe, but from our drawing, this is what we have, right? Okay, so okay, let's assume we don't have what we want here. Let me just put this white first. Now, having selected this, I will now come to this color and then choose the way I want it to be. So having known that this is what we want, okay, I can come to this place, right, and then leave it this way. Okay, so I will say okay. So this is now the color. Then assuming I want an image, you understand, to appear on this wall, let me assume you have a pattern that you already, maybe you snapped a pattern, you have seen a wall pattern and you love it, you understand, you want to import it. Yet you can go through this select image, you understand, to be able to get the pattern that you must as an image. So when you select it, that will be the pattern you see on your wall. Assuming you have flower paint, that is a paint made of flower patterns, you can select it and that will be what will appear on your wall. Now having selected this paint, I will now see, and then image fade is related with this image. You understand? When you start clicking this, when you click this, the image here will be very fade, and what we'll be seeing is more of this paint. But when it becomes, when it is, you take it to this place, this paint will no longer show, it will be the image that will clearly be showing. Then this glossiness is with respect to color, so how glossy it will be, like the smoothness. Okay, so and all this reflectivity cut out. So these are the things you can always go through to check. Okay, so we will now say okay. So having clicked on this, we will now go back to modify. You will see under this paint pt that our new paint is already there, which is this make white, right? So that when you now click it and come outside, you will now be able to change this. Okay, so this is how you'll be able to paint. Now for the sake of this tutorial, let me assume I need a pattern, you understand, on this wall. All right, okay, so let me click this. Let me assume this is where the pattern will be, at this area. For the sake, let me delete this wall, or let me hide it, hide element. Okay, so let's assume that the pattern will be on this wall. Now for me to do it, I will come back to this modify, where is it, and come to this paint. Okay, come to this paint, remove paint. So I'll now come to this and remove the existing paint. Okay, now what I want to do will be for me to go to this same manage material, and I'll click on, let me assume I have, let me make use of this oak. Okay, this is already the image here. Let me create a new paint. Okay, so let me rename this as I'm thinking of a paint to add here. Let me just say wall coating. Yeah, wall coating paint. Okay, so I will select this wall coating paint, and then under this graphics I will make, remember to tick this render appearance, right? So I will now come to this appearance itself. Now we are using image, right? Now no image selected, I want to select image. Okay, so let me assume my wall paint is going to have a cloud pattern. So I'll go back to under Revit material. Okay, so I will go to Revit material, and under Born Revit. Okay, now I will, okay, I'll go to this cloud. Let me just assume we have a cloud like this. Okay, so it will appear. Now you can resize the image size, the image, you understand. This is 300 mm by, let me assume it is 500 by 500. Yep, remember this ratio, you understand, aspect ratio is still open, that's why it changed automatically, so it is good for me. So I'll say okay. I'll now say okay. Now I'll now go back to this paint PT, and then remember we are talking about the paint. We renamed it as I can't remember the name of that paint again, but okay, I think it's wall something, wall coating paint, yes. So I'll now come here and put this in. Now the thing is, you won't be able to see how this paint is until you must have rendered it, you understand. Okay, so but just have it in mind. Let me, for the sake of this, let me just render it and show you what you have. Okay, so I did a quick rendering of this particular part, you understand. Now you see it has a cloud like paint, you understand. Then this is the down part of the building. Okay, why, and this is the, now why I did this quick render is for you to be able to appreciate what the different material you can apply on a wall, you understand, how it can always appear. Okay, so but then I will close this work and let's go back to what we were doing. So this is how you can always appear this thing, you can always apply different materials. Okay, so we will now continue doing our painting, but let me assume that this is the wall paint, you understand, that we actually want. Okay, then another thing is assuming while we are maybe as we are working and we discover that this paint is not actually really what we want and you want to change it, it is very easy to do. You just need to go to the material and just go back to the paint, you understand. Let me, I think oh, taking time. Go and, if you just go to the paint, look for it and you'll be able to change it, and once you change it here, it will reflect on the building, right? So what I will now do, I will now continue with my paint, right? I will now go to my PT, which is shortcut for paint, PT, sorry. Okay, then I'll remove this paint, this existing paint. So come to paint, that is PT, modify, remove paint. Okay, so I will now go back to paint. Then we are making use of let's check the name again. This is make painted with milk white milk white. Yep, so this is it. So meanwhile, just likewise this other side. Okay, and then this we also need to apply the paint on the edges of this slab. Okay, so virtually everywhere, I don't know, but okay, let me just continue. Then at this point we have a different color, a different pattern. Okay, so I will go back to this and I'll close this down, and because I've not prepared the pattern, I will need to go and create the pattern. And for me to do that, let me create new material and call this duplicate. I'm sorry, name. Let me call this as maybe sliding wall paint. Okay, so now open up this, and under this Autodesk, then I think we have wall paint here. Let me go to siding. Okay, so from the picture we have something of this nature. Okay, let me assume we have this white, this particular color. You understand? Let me just assume this. So I will now say okay. So I'll now come to this paint, which is PT, and we remember the name sliding. Oh, sorry, go back. PT, that is sliding is S. So I'll come here. So we have it at this point. Okay, and let me assume we also have it here. So we have it this way, and let me assume also. So we have it these three places. Okay, now having applied this paint, and let me assume this is the final result for our paint. Sorry, let me finish up this PT here also, and then this floor. Okay, now what's the name of this paint again? Make white. Make white. Apply on this part. Okay, then remember we have white, pure white for this our parapet. Okay, so let me paint white. Let me assume this is the color. So now if you want to apply a paint on this material, all you need to do is first you can't apply paint directly on it unless it is on this roof. Remember, this is roof, but on this one you cannot apply paint directly on it. So what you need to do is to click on it and go to edit in place. At this place, this is where you cannot apply the paint. So you click PT. Then let us assume we are using this paint white, right? You can now apply it one by one. You understand? One by one. You can apply different patterns. You understand? Depending on what you want to achieve, right? Okay. So I also like to say this. You see the time it's taking me to do this. I could also use Dynamo, you understand, to write a program that can make this faster for me. You understand? So maybe a program that I will just need to select all this thing and apply all the surfaces and apply paint at once. Okay, but that is by the way. So let me not spend much time doing this. Let me click yes. Okay, now another thing you can do, if assuming you want all this thing to be white, why not go through this way? Select this material and click edit in place, then select this material again and go to this material by category, click on this, then go and look for that paint. Maybe we were talking about white. White. Okay, we have so many white here. Okay, let me just say paint white. I don't know how this looks like, but let me go with this clad white. Okay, now we will say okay. So you see, it gives us the same. You see, this is all white, right? Okay, now you can now remove all those paint you once applied. You understand? If that is how you want to go about it, you can remove all the paint that you once applied. Okay, so having done this, I can now click OK. Right, very fine. Then this particular one, we said we want it to be also that same color white. Edit in place. So I can now select it again. I'll move to this category and then select that white. Clad white. Finish. Okay, very fine. So it gives us what we want, right? Okay, so this is how you can virtually change the material itself to the paint you want. Okay, so I'll stop here. Now the next thing is for us to go to the interiors. You understand? So if we come to this interior, well, let's go to DPC. We want to start inputting some of our interior materials in this building, but before I do that, let me remove this particular AutoCAD drawing. So for me to remove this AutoCAD drawing, I need to come to manage, then move to manage links. I am talking about card format, so we have these two. You can now say unload and then say okay. So it has moved out. Okay, so but then to add some element like table, seats, television, all those things, all you need to do is to have the material library. If you have the material library, then you will now come to this insert. Under this insert, you will now click on load family. Then you go and look for the family you are looking for. We are not looking for windows, so we move out. Right? Okay, now let me assume this is the material library, or why this is the material library, and we are looking for let me say dining table. So we can check whether it is inside table. Okay, or okay, we don't have. Let us check furniture. Do we have furniture here? Okay, then we can check on these tables. Then we have dining. So if you don't have the particular one you want, you can download, right? So I will now go back. I don't have the one I want. I have different material library, so I can also come to this and move to this okay, let's see. Okay, this is a background. So if I check this latest, I can check furnitures, so we can look for tables out of dining. Do you have anything like dining? Okay, it's not here. So but if you know where the okay, we can make use of this. Okay, so you can say okay. It is upgrading to the higher version of 2024. So having loaded, I'll now come to this architecture. Under this component, I'll now pick it, so I can put it here. So you now be able to appreciate whether it is too small or too big. That is the space itself that you have. All right, okay. So having dropped this, Control S,